With Matt Hardy saying Edge would have come to AEW had WWE not cleared him, and Jim Cornette convinced that Keith Lee will be All Elite. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for September 25th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. During a segment for Survivor Series 2018 with The Big Show, Drake Maverick was given a device that was supposed to be used to make it look like he peed himself. There was an issue with this, so Maverick ended up having to legitimately pee his pants, as he told Post Wrestling. I come backstage and Road Dogg's there. He's like, "Hey, can I talk to you? Was something wrong with that contraption? Because that kind of looked like it sucked." I went, "Yes, it was something wrong. It didn't work and I had to wet myself." He's like, "Wait a minute, you pissed yourself?" I'm like, "Yes, look." He's like, Hunter, what? He pissed himself. Vince, what? He pissed himself. He what? Goddamn. Usually you go over to Vince McMahon and Hunter and you give them a handshake and thank them for allowing you to do business and everything like that, but on that day I was excused from the handshake as it was covered with pee. It's a story for the ages. I'll be looked back on as the guy that peed himself, and some people will call it pathetic. Me, I saw that as an opportunity to show my boss I will do absolutely anything to get the job done. So there you go. Despite this, Maverick says he wasn't embarrassed and takes pride in his work. I'll have you know, I'm a very, very serious competitor, but at the same time, it is, to me, another day at work. Whenever I'm given something, it's not about me, it's about how I'm going to make the audience feel, and it's how I'm going to connect with the audience, because I grew up watching a lot of British TV, and also grew up watching a lot of WWF wrestling where people like Bobby Heenan were always the foil, they were always the weasel, there always has to be somebody that is the butt of the joke. I have enough confidence in myself to be okay with the butt of the joke, receive all the haha tweets, receive all the laughter from children and everything like that, because I know what role I'm playing. I know this isn't James actually peeing his pants. This is Drake Maverick peeing his pants. And so when that's presented to you, some people will be like, "Oh god, that's gonna make you look so pathetic." I know, it's perfect, right? I'm a beggar. How much more pathetic can you be surrounded by two enormous men to do your fighting for you than peeing your pants at the first sight of danger? It's pathetic. So why would anybody cheer me? They boo me and they react. I remember with AOP, and we go to the live events and they come out and they're awesome and they're monsters and they're killers, and they get in there and they'll be monsters and they kill everybody, but the audience knows they're preconditioned to boo them. But what's the reason to boo them? Because they're awesome. So then after I peed my pants, we go out there and they're chanting AOPP, and I'm looking around. No, but there's reaction there, which is also important for our business, is getting them to care enough to even open their mouths and say something. Despite being a former NXT champion and there being plans for him to be called up to the main roster, Adam Cole chose not to re-sign with WWE and joined AEW. Speaking to Renee Paquette, he mentioned the hardest thing about leaving the company. Very hard. That was probably the hardest part about the decision to leave WWE, was also leaving the party, I think. I really formed a close bond with Xavier Woods and Cesaro and Tyler Breeze over the pandemic. Again, the backstory to that is sort of funny too, because Claudio and Breeze and Creed all wanted to start producing some more content since the pandemic started, and they were like, "I think we want to start playing Uno. We need a fourth guy." And I didn't know this, but when I did the first episode, I was kind of on a trial. That was my audition, and I didn't even know that. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And they, I guess, all knew immediately, "Oh my god, this is our four-man crew." And then between all the fun content that we produced and all the fun moments that we've had together, so I talk to those guys every single day. We have a group chat and we talk every single day. While he had his match against Malachi Black on Dynamite, Cody Rhodes was on the receiving end of boos. As Arn Anderson explained why I'm busted open radio, "I'm just speculating and I don't pretend I'm a mind reader, but I'm trying to get into the head of a wrestling fan. The most talented guy and the #1 guy in Hollywood right now is The Rock. There's no disputing that. I'm talking as an actor. John Cena was a guy that had always stood and was dedicated 100% of his time to the fans, to the company, to the business. I feel like when he started doing movies and he was no longer with WWE, I think fans possibly not putting words in their mouth may feel a little afraid that they got their support behind these guys, and then they got red hot and took off to Hollywood. Cody has said he has no intention of ever turning heel in AEW, yet these crowd reactions could end up making him one by default. Keith Lee has finally made his return to WWE, with him now being presented as a heel, now having the nickname Bearcat. On his podcast, Jim Cornette spoke about his booking, saying Lee might join AEW. Keith Lee to AEW confirmed whenever his contract is up. What has this guy done? Not sure whether he's pissed Vince off, or worse, even worse for him, whether Vince is taking a personal interest in him. I can't tell these days which that is. They're either pushing him, or else Vince is really interested and this is exactly what he wants to do with him. I don't know what to say. They put him in a tennis skirt at one point, they pulled him off TV for months. Of course, we later found out it was a health issue, but when they put him back on TV, he's just another one of the boys, and they beat him as often as not. They changed his music. They switched him from one brand to another. Are they rolling dice on what his gimmick or name or music or personality, or whether he's a babyface or a heel? Fox has a lot of stock in the company. Now it's been reported that the network is disappointed in the promotion. Fightful has reached out to several close to the WWE Fox relationship after being told in July that the relationship between the two sides was strained. A source from Fox reportedly admitted that the WWE viewership was disappointing in comparison to expectations. Fox is also not too happy about WWE promoting NBCU's Peacock, with it noted that one WWE source indicated that if it were names at Fox that wanted the pay-per-view content, they could have paid the premium that Peacock did for it. It was even noted that several high-level meetings have been held in recent months. We're told that a dinner between two sides at the Wynn in Las Vegas lasted around 4 hours and was said to be productive from WWE's end. Vince McMahon and Nick Khan have apparently devised a plan to appease Fox, as their first LA show back will be SmackDown as opposed to Raw, since Fox Sports HQ is in Los Angeles. When it comes to Edge being cleared to compete in WWE, Matt Hardy told Post Wrestling that had WWE not done this, the rated R superstar would have ended up in AEW. That was one of those things too. I think if WWE hadn't have cleared Edge and let him wrestle, he was going to end up at AEW. So they kind of had to go, oh, if we don't want him to go, we got to let him have his way. Matt Hardy would also tell Post Wrestling that contrary to Vince McMahon and WWE, Tony Khan encourages AEW talent to use words like belt as often as possible. It's great to hear wrestling used because that is what it is. That is what it will always be. And you know, there was just, for so long, Vince just kind of saw that as a dirty word. That word is beneath us. Let's do something else. And I get that, and I can respect that he has a vision and he has this mold of this project he wants to create. And it's sports entertainment, it's larger than life. And you can't hate him for doing that because he has contributed so much to the pro wrestling industry. And when it's all said and done, at its core, it's going to be pro wrestling because you can change the name, you can change the way it's done a little bit, but at the end of the day, it is pro wrestling, a very unique form of athletics and showbiz combined. And for AEW to go all in, yes, this is pro wrestling, and it's something I heard just a while back. Tony Khan was back at the go position and they were going, yes, this is for so-and-so in the TNT Championship title. He's like, call it a belt. We're saying championships too much. Call it a belt. And that's another word Vince hates. But I mean, he grew up as a fan and he likes and digs all that terminology. And I love that it's implemented in there because I feel like the fans, especially our fan base, they feel like they're more at home and they feel like, yeah, this is cool. These people are listening to us. They're catering to us. Owen Hart is regarded as one of the most talented wrestling stars to ever live. AEW will be partnering with the Owen Hart Foundation to honor legendary wrestlers, including having an Owen Hart Cup tournament in the company. Talking to Stephanie Chase, Chris Jericho touched on his involvement in getting the deal worked out. It was a passion project for me and obviously for Martha and Tony. We worked on it for a long time, about a year and a half, to put the deal together and figure out what we wanted to do. I just knew I wanted Owen's legacy to be something positive and something great as far as wrestling goes, rather than just be dwelling on his death. That's the main reason why we all wanted this to happen, so we can celebrate Owen Hart's career and the contributions that he's made. He was a pioneer. What's his connection to AEW? Some people are saying, well, one of the connections is that he's specifically the reason I got into wrestling. Owen Hart was the guy. To an extent, Shawn Michaels and Ricky Steamboat, but Owen Hart, to me, I thought, I want to be like that guy. There is your connection to AEW. The original AEW face of the company is an Owen Hart fanatic and disciple. people. That's the reason we wanted to do this. We'll do the Owen Hart Cup and tournament and make people feel good about Owen rather than sad. We know what happened, but that was over 20 years ago. Let's move forward, remembering his amazing contributions and legacy in the ring that will resonate to this day. I'm really excited about it and very happy about it and really happy the deal got done. We put a lot of time and work to make it happen, but it did, and now we can move forward and have great times with Owen involved, which I'm sure he would have loved as well. With him recently becoming WWE Champion, Big E spoke on Hot 97 Radio saying he would be the right guy to bring an end to Goldberg's in-ring career. Well, who better to retire him? Who better to take him out to pasture, take Old Yeller behind the barn? We'll see. I just feel like I would be the right person to send them on home, give him his walking cane, and say thank you for your service. While there are no reports of this match being set to take place, this would be a great way to send off Goldberg and get some well-deserved attention on Big E. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.